Hello and welcome to the 2008 AGM DVD. This is the planning residential for this year's AGM. This is where we decide how we are going to do what we're going to do. We are looking at things like the big AGM meeting itself. That's where we make all the big decisions like the themes for next year and talk about who's done what since last year. This takes place in the chamber of the Welsh Assembly and it is our single most important meeting of the year. We're also planning the award ceremony and dinner where we hand out the funky grogs to people who are leaving and generally give them a good send-off. Another important thing is the evaluation of the event, so we do it better next time. Then there's the workshops with the ministers where we ask them what they've done this year and what they are going to do next year. This all has to be done by the young people of the Grand Council because nobody knows better than them what's going to work and what's not. The way we do the planning is we hold workshops. These are basically just meetings, but done in a way that as many people as possible get involved. In the workshops, we might come up with fresh ways to do evaluations or how to tell new reps about Funky Dragon. This isn't a workshop, it's us playing rounders, and as nobody knows the rules, you can't really say anybody's cheating, although everybody is. The AGM is 3 days long and it's a lot to take in. It's where our reps first get to see what Funky Dragon is and how we do things. They also get to meet the rest of the young people on the Grand Council, and that is where the fun really begins. This is the AGM. At the AGM, we get a lot of new members. We meet the decision makers like government ministers and officials and decide what we are going to be for the next year. The first thing that happens is everybody arrives. At this point, they get all their freebies, they start meeting the staff and they decide what they will be doing on the second day. They also get photographed. This is so that they can go on the website so the staff and everybody else can put a face to the name. Then they get the information packs, room keys and numbers, name badges, blah blah blah. After all that's done, they get lunch. After lunch, they get a crash course on everything funky. This includes a brief history, some ground rules, some info about the AGM itself, health and safety, the structure of the organisation and all that. Then the work starts. The young people split up into their workshop groups, more about the workshop later, and begin to sort out what they will be talking about with the ministers and officials on the second day. After the workshops, we all have dinner, then there's more work around the themes for next year. More about the themes later. When that's done, the fun starts. This year, there's a treasure hunt, a quiz, DVDs, games, and arts and crafts. It's a bit like Butlins without the alcohol. Day 2 and it's up early for a quick breakfast, then on the buses to go to the assembly. We basically have to get 160 people on buses and across Cardiff in the rush hour by 8:45 so that they can get through security by 9:15. This is the building where we spend most of the day. It's where all the assembly members have their offices and the security is just mental. The opening speech this year is by Deputy First Minister Ieuan Wyn-Jones. At 9:45, the workshops start. In these, we work out exactly what we are going to be saying to the ministers and exactly how we are going to say it. These sessions are run by the co-chairs who are young people from Funky Dragon with expertise in specific areas. Then it's a short break before we call in the ministers and officials. The workshops with the ministers and officials are where we get to put questions to the most powerful people in Wales. These are the people who decide how you and me will be educated, treated if we get sick, what sort of jobs we are likely to get, and how clean our environment will be. These are the actual people who think up the laws the rest of us have to live by. The next thing on the agenda is the AGM itself. This is where we do things like elect the management committee, read out the accounts, and basically all the technical stuff that we have to do legally. Present at this point are the chair of the management committee, the chair of the meeting, the company secretary, and the accountants. Once all that is out of the way, it's time to go back to the accommodation and get ready for the evening's events. Every year we have an awards dinner where we present grogs to people who are leaving the Grand Council because they have served their 2 years. As well as the dinner, there are often DVDs to do with the work we've been doing that year. And afterwards, a disco. Lately, everyone has been getting their photos taken while they are dressed up. It seems to have become a bit of a tradition. The last day is where we do our assessment of the event. We look at everything from the food to the meetings with all the ministers themselves. The feedback is vital for us because the main reason we exist is to listen to the voices of young people. What you say in the feedback tells us how to or not to do things next year and at any other residentials.
Emanuele, 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 Emanuele.